All right. So, just to get a sample and just to get the pulse of the room. So, we just like those who are bold enough. Let us know what your expectations are. Why did you register? Why did you join? And what are you hoping to get out of this meeting? Would end in, we'll try our best. The speakers are already online, and they would definitely put us through. So, but it's also good to get a pulse of what people want, and then we can always, shape whatever we are doing in that direction so that we are actually attending to the needs of people, right? So, if you're here and you want to just, quickly just let us know, okay, this is why I joined, and this is what I hope to get from this meeting, that would be great. Who wants to go first? Anybody? The floor is open. Just unmute yourself and speak. There's dead silence. We're trying to make it as I don't want to make it look like I'm the only one speaking or the speaker speaking, right? Okay, Victor, thank you so much, Victor. Please go ahead, Victor.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah. So for me personally, I want to understand the basic of cybersecurity, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one field that I've been looking to go into for the past couple of years, but I haven't had the chance. Basically, I'm just really scared about the fact that we all know that AI and all those bits. So I want to see probably is a field whereby I can transition into and see
Okay.
whether the potential for a market opportunity in that field. At the same time, I'm looking to just understand the very basic and something that can just give me a foundation whereby I can grow on this particular field. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Awesome. 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 Thank you very much, Victor. Thank you. Victor was really honest, right? He's had interest, according to what he said, and he's trying to get the basics, which is cool. Does anyone else want to share, what the expectations are? And if you could tell us probably why you even registered in the first place. I know it's almost well, visible or obvious why you did, but it should just be good to get a pulse of what you're actually thinking. Anyone else wants to give it a try?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon, Gabriel.
Yeah, I registered because I have interest in project management. Being an engineering student, I feel that it would be good if I could have a good knowledge of project management.
All right. Awesome. Are you still a student, Gabriel?
Yes.
Okay, 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 okay. Awesome. I mean, students, I know we probably have quite a number of students, here, and which is cool. I wish when I was a student I had opportunities. Probably I was not just serious enough to attend the event, and I'm being honest. I spent all my time partying and doing things that doesn't make sense. So, I wish I was sensible enough to attend meetings like this. Maybe my life would have been, maybe I'd have been like Adela now. So, but let's just be looking at it. Oh my god. Okay, so Abia, yes,
You
Sadiq
don't want
put
to
in
know
the
my
chat.
story. You
Sir,
honestly, you don't want to know my story. You
we'll get
honestly
there. We'll
don't
get
want
there very soon.
not the universal story, though, but okay.
So Sadiq says, I work in the NGO space and I work as a program manager, but then I have taken some training in digitalizing the services I render. But then I'm here to learn about tech, program, and project management in the NGO space, which is awesome. We have Timothy already with us. I don't know why it's with us, but the video is not on. So he's gonna go on and he will let us know more about this, and if possible, touch on in the NGO space. I don't think there's a difference, but I'm not the expert, so I'll let the experts speak. So let's just have one more person, and then we can get right because we're right on schedule. So let's just go one person that would just take us. Now just tell us what they want to tell us. Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have my background is in law, both undergrad and masters. the tech community is getting to fuse itself with the law. There are different aspects of AI trying to invite themselves into the law. My main goal is getting to understand the legal aspect of cybersecurity because that's a developing market. And should it develop, you have to know how to balance the usage of cybersecurity alongside the legal aspect of it. So when you are faced with the problem, you don't look like you don't know what is happening. So basically, I want to understand the basics, then from there, transcend forward.
Okay, awesome. That makes sense. Kika Neymar, I don't know if that's a nickname or a real name. I'm sorry if I do not pronounce it properly. Please share with us what you think.
Good afternoon, everyone. So
Afternoon,
my name
sir.
is Ika. Right. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So basically, I had plans this year to transition into cybersecurity. I'm a petroleum engineer, and I think on Instagram this morning I saw the e-card for this roundtable event, and I felt that probably if I attend, I can get a relatable roadmap I can work with in transitioning to cybersecurity, basically.
All right. Makes sense. I'm just going to open the queue. We've got quite a few hands. Abosede, please go ahead.
Hi everyone. Can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Sorry, I'm in transit. Anyways, I have a background in software engineering, front end development to be precise. And currently, I'm doing my master's in project management in the UK. So I want to understand, how project management market is like, and for obvious reason, how to transition into like project management easily and comfortably, and how to get jobs, how to like what to do to get jobs, and the skills to acquire before going into the market and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much for sharing. Then we have Williams Oluwatobiloba. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, so I understand that, well, I'll start by saying my background is also in law, but I know that lawyers tend to go into project management, HR, and the likes a lot. But then I've always been interested, like largely interested in cybersecurity, and I know that its demands and the expectations are quite high. So when I saw the flyer, detailing and trying, like particularly expressing the interest in talking about both. So I'm like, okay, this is good. I'd like to know, like, what's in reality, what is expected from, both, or what I can expect from both study.
Okay.
Quite really intense to one of them. So yeah, basically, like I'm looking forward to properly being advised accordingly. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. I think the last person we have whose hand is up. Okay, we have someone who's joined that. So, Hollins Esegba, did I pronounce your name correctly? Please, if I did not do it correctly, please bear with me. I'm sorry.
It's okay, sir. Thank you so much for having me. Good evening, everyone. My name is Hollins Esigba.
Welcome. Hollins.
My question, I've been trying to find my way around the cybersecurity space. I've been particularly interested in the compliance and management aspect, if there's any area like that. So I've been looking to know how I could leverage information in that area, find people who are also in that field, and learn what I have to learn, because I hear in this country, specifically speaking about the UK and the global market, it is certificates that actually counts when it comes to this certificate and experience. So I want to know about this and know what it takes to actually enter into the project management field also. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so good. I'm just going to read out before I move on to those whose hand are raised. I just want to read out Abigail's post on the chat. She says that I would just like to know what project management is all about, because we have the popular use of AI. Being a graduate of mass comm, there are things that can be done with the media space. So just want to see how project management merges with AI and using both of them in the media space. So I'm just going to check on Blessed Laha, if I'm right.
Yeah, you're right. Good
Okay.
afternoon, everyone. My name is Blessed Silas La, and my background is in economics, both master's and bachelor's degree, and I've worked as a tax consultant, a US tax consultant for a while now. And
Okay.
I want to transition into the field of cybersecurity, which I've already started some few learning on that. But I just want to know your experiences in the field and what to expect. In a nutshell, your challenges in the field of cybersecurity and what to expect if I am to start as a cybersecurity entry level person.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. And the reason why I'm asking all this, we'll find out very soon. Jay for God's power, please go ahead. God's power, are you here? Your hands were raised up.
Sorry, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry.
Afternoon, sir.
All right. Thank you very much for having us here today. So I'll just go straight to the point. So basically, my background is in architecture. However, I have been, trying to, or not really trying per se. I'm transitioning into project management. I have been doing some, courses along the line just to, learn and get a hang of what project management is all about.
Okay.
However, I intend to do project management for my master's degree. So basically, what I would like to know, because I work as a content marketer and a content writer also, so it's something I've been doing for over 4 years or thereabouts. I work with a lot of brands all around the world and everything. So basically, I'm trying to, transition into project management and see how I can utilize my content marketing experience alongside my architectural degree in the construction industry. What my question would be, or what I would be interested in learning is the European markets, the main, because I think there's this friend of mine who spoke about something related to some specified certifications you need to have, maybe in the UK, for instance, just as you have NEBOSH for health workers or something like that. I'm not really sure. So basically, I would just like to know what the transitioning process is all about, what you need to learn, the certificates you need to acquire apart from your master's degree, and what it is like working in the project management space. Thank you.
Makes sense. Thank you so much, everyone. So why I ask this is because most times many of us joined this, we just saw the flyer, we saw these things, and we just wanted to dive in and say, okay, let me get as much. But it's best if you have specified goals and if you have like what your own plan is, because these speakers are going to be speaking and they're going to be telling you from their own experience, and they have years of experience in this field. But if you don't even know what to look for, they can say a bunch of things and you might not be able to get anything out of it, right? Because you in sense are not actually looking for anything. So it's good if you have not really thought about what you really want to get about it, right? You can just you have your pen and something beside you, just put down notes on, okay, what do I hope to gain from this, so that when the speaker says something that is related to that, then you easily catch that and you can run with it. And that would also help you ask questions when they say something related to what you are thinking of. So then you can ask clarification questions, because the truth is they cannot say everything on this call, right? They definitely cannot say everything on this call. And definitely that it's going to take more than this call. So questions will help bring out more, right? So the more in-depth or more thought well the questions are, the better they'll be able to articulate their own thoughts and then give you answers that would match your own needs. So that's why I know many of us got a message via, if not everybody, right? Except those that did not register. So we'll have gotten messages via text or WhatsApp, right? So we did put on pointers as to how to get the best out of this meeting. And thank you so much, everyone who has shared who has shared their thoughts. Right. So we're just going to, move into the very first section, where we'll be inviting Adiola Adeniji, who is a security architect with a company based in the Netherlands. He has been doing this for over 10 years. He started in Nigeria, moved to Germany, and now he's in the Netherlands. And he is I can call him an expert in this field. So I just, without not wasting any more time, I want us to welcome Mr. Adiola Adeniji to the floor. Thank you so much and welcome, sir.
I thought I was going to hear drum rolls, like, clapping.
You get this one.
Anyway, right, just kidding. Hi everybody. My name is Adiola Adeniji. Thank you, Greg, for having us here. It's an honor to have to speak to this community. I do not take it for granted, right? So thank you. All right, so let's dive in. I've had a couple of questions here and there, and people mentioning a few comments. So hopefully I'm able to touch on a few of those points as we go through the whole discussion. But I'll give you a basic brief of myself. So my name is Adiola. I currently work as a security architect for a company in the Netherlands. I've been doing security for over a decade. I started my career back home in Nigeria. I worked in a few finance companies in Nigeria. I've worked in e-commerce. Pretty much my experience stems from the financial industry. I've also worked in core IT, and I'm currently working in manufacturing. All right, so having said that, there was a post I was actually going to read. I was going to read it at the end, right? But I'm going to start with it right now because for me, that way it gives us a better perspective, right? So I can hear people saying, "Oh, I want to do cybersecurity. I want to do security. I want to get involved in cybersecurity, or I want to do something in cybersecurity." And for me, the first question I'll always ask is, "What's your motivation?" Right? If your motivation isn't right, trust me, it's going to frustrate you easily. Even I, right now, as I am in the job, sometimes I feel frustrated, right? So if your motivation is wrong, right, believe me when I tell you, you'd fall out easily. So I'm just going to read a post by a friend and a mentor of mine. He's been in the space way longer than me. I kind of found his post quite interesting, and it kind of got a lot of reaction. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to start with this. I just have to find it. I thought I had it, but now I'm looking for it. Forgive my, I found it. All right, so it was a post on, and I'll read this. It says, the statement, "There is money in cybersecurity," is definitely true, all right? Cybersecurity professionals are in high demand and salaries can be quite attractive. However, it's important to understand that building a successful career in cybersecurity isn't an instant get-rich-quick scheme, which is what I see most people these days saying, "Oh, I want to get into cybersecurity because I can make money fast or I can get paid well and this and that." And I'll come to that as why it's not that. All right. It requires dedication, continuous learning, and a willingness to put in the hard work, right, to develop the necessary skills and experience. Think of it like this. Entering the cybersecurity field is like planting a seed. You plant the seed, your initial interest and basic knowledge, right? And then you have to nurture it through learning, training, and experience for it to grow into a strong, valuable asset. A successful cybersecurity career. Now, this growth takes time, patience, and a commitment to delayed gratification. So at this, when I started my career in security on the basis of I was working to learn, not to earn. So my core initial drive for security, I always had interest in security. If I was not doing cybersecurity, I'd probably have been doing clandestine jobs or working in the secret service, or maybe working with the Mossad or the FBI or CIA, or if I was still in Nigeria, maybe the DSS, right? And this kind of life I actually liked. I always wanted to be in the military or this kind of space. But I'll go on to it now. It says, this can involve learning, earning advanced education, mastering specific technical areas, and gaining hands-on experience. The good news is that the cybersecurity field is constantly evolving, offering a plethora of opportunities for growth and consistent learning throughout your career. If you're passionate about digital trust, securing critical infrastructure, proactive problem solving, and willing to put in the effort, a career in cybersecurity can both be purposefully rewarding and financially fulfilling in the long run. As for embracing delayed gratification, it is important in this field, right? The initial learning curve can be steep, and the journey towards mastering complex skills takes time. However, the satisfaction of continuous learning, the challenge of solving complex problems, and the potential for a rewarding career can be powerful motivators for those who value long-term success over instant gratification. So this is it for me. If you're thinking cybersecurity for instant gratification, believe me, it's not for you. I'm going to put it out there. So, I mean, you probably see things around people saying, oh, 6-month bootcamp to learn tech or 3-month bootcamp. Believe me, it's all people are trying to sell stuff. If that's what you're looking for, it's not going to work. I'll simply just say, you know what, forget about the career in cybersecurity and just move on to something else. All right. But if that's not the case, I'll use my own story to give us an insight. I loved security growing up, but I loved computers growing up, and I soon found an interest in security. I couldn't join the Secret Service or the clandestine job, so the only option for me was then to join the general civilian security. And I remember at that point, post my NYSC, my mom asked me, look, before you get a job, to make yourself valuable, what do you need to do? And I looked at it and said, okay, well, I wanted security. I couldn't join the GSS or Secret Service. And then said, go check out certifications you can do in the field you want to go into. And then I found the CH, for example. And I did the CH, and that was how my career started. This is like over a decade ago now. I can't really remember exactly when, but it's been over a really long time. Now, which brings me to my first point. For you to have a successful cybersecurity journey, you need two things. You need a sponsor and you need a mentor. In my own case, my mother was a mentor. Well, mother was my sponsor, not my mentor, but over the years, I had mentors. And currently, I have a mentor who has helped shape my experience or my career go to security, even from the core technical to even more administrative tasks or more the managerial role over the years. So first things you need to do is, first of all, get yourself a sponsor and get yourself a mentor. Your sponsor can be yourself. It can be someone who is willing, right, to put in the cost or support your growth in cybersecurity, right? Second part, like I said, as I started, don't be in a hurry to make money. Build capacity first, right? And the reason why I'm starting with this before going into the basics is because I need us to have a certain mindset when it comes to doing a role in cybersecurity. I mean, I hear people ask questions of relation to cybersecurity compliance. I'm looking to transition, or I'm doing law, for example. How does this apply? I'll explain all of that eventually, right? But for me, it's about having the right mindset. One of the points I've written, like I said, is build capacity first. Let money not be the driving force. Build capacity first. Another part I'll talk about is have a role model, right? Have a role model that you can look up to and say, okay, this person has done this. It can also be your mentor, right? The person is able to guide you through your developmental process, where they can check in on your level, they can check in on your understanding, identify your gaps, and tell you where to do better or where to do more. All right, because like Greg said, what I can do here is just give you the basics. I can't really guide anybody through on the score. It's just a general basics, general conversation, right? The next phase I'll go into is in cybersecurity, you have about close to 7 or 8 domains or more. I can mention them. But what I'd always say is find an area of interest. Not everybody is going to be a developer. Not everybody is going to have coding skills. Not everybody is going to have technical skills. For example, the guys in the legal part are not doing technical stuff. They're just involved in the documentation and the compliance that comes with cybersecurity. For example, there are regulatory compliance requirements, right? So in countries like the US, you have HIPAA, you have the California Privacy Act, for example. In the EU, you have the GDPR. Right now, we have the NIS2 directive coming out, for example. In the financial industry, you have DORA, for example. And as many of them, you have different standards that help companies fulfill requirements. The most common one you see, for example, is ISO 27001 or ISO 27K series, right? In the US, you have the NIST publication 853. Those are standards that help you achieve cybersecurity compliance in your companies. Now, the good thing about it is that this compliance standards gives you pointers in various aspects of your landscape to protect. So for example, if you're coming into cybersecurity, you need to even understand the basics of what you're protecting, why you need to do this. So the good thing about most of all the standards is that although very long, if you can take your time to read them, right, gives you an overview into saying, okay, this is required because this is needed, and this is the effect of this being needed. So if someone comes and says, or one of the requirements says have cryptography or have a certain type of cryptography on the environment, right? Then you see the need and the reason. So in that aspect, for example, you have a basic understanding of saying, oh, if I'm using cryptography, right, I don't necessarily have to know the tool. I just need to know that this is a requirement and this is why this requirement exists. All right. And that for me is one good point to start up getting the basics, right, of the whole idea in cybersecurity. Right. So it's an, like you said, it's an ever-growing industry, it's an ever-growing space, right? It's an ever-growing space. So there was also a question, for example, in the AI aspect, right? Looking at AI coming to, let's say, replace people, right? I while I hear that, I kind of took a note and I'm saying, for me, for example, I can beat an AI, right? Not because I'm smarter than it or I have more processing power, no, but the logic in which the AI works with, right, is brought from actual practical experience I've gotten over time, right? So an AI would never be smarter than individuals. And this is the part where building capacity always come into play, all right? So you learn to build capacity because this is what will be your guide as you move through the career, as you move through your phase. No one is going to come and say, oh, AI is going to replace people, for example, in fulfilling compliance documentation. I'm sure we must have heard the case of, I think it was 2 airlines, Air Canada, who its prompt in response was manipulated, right? I mean, its guardrails were bypassed, right? And Air Canada had to pay. There are a few of them like that, right? And this is the part where, for example, regulatory compliance comes into drafting what governs how this is being used, right? And you see this in relation, for example, in privacy, data privacy. You see everybody these days talking about data privacy, personal identifiable information, data residency, how to use data, how to transmit data, and how all of that works, right? So, for example, these are aspects that would always need the human interaction, right? I'm going to take you back to why I started in the middle where I said, look, not everybody is going to have development experience. Nobody's going to be a developer. Not everybody's going to be a programmer, for example, right? There are about 8 domains in security. Look at them and find what interests you, right? When you find what interests you, pick a mentor in that aspect. Look for someone who you feel has been successful, right, in that space, and see what they've done so far, right? And just ask them questions. Hi, you did this. How did you get through it, right? Or when you have questions, right, do that and then get on along with that. Another part I'll give as a guide is when you get a mentor in the cybersecurity space, I'm not talking technical right now, I'm talking general overview, right? I'm going to come back to technical. When you have a mentor who's willing to mentor in cybersecurity space, do yourself a favor of doing your own foundational research first. So you're taking actionable insights, in fact, you've got it, to a mentor to help you align and see about what is relevant and not relevant. All right. Now, having said that, let's go back to the basics. In cybersecurity, there are about 8 or 9 domains. I can mention a few. Right now, there's the cloud security, the security administration, the security engineering, the security architecture. You have incident response and analysts, or you have security analysts. You have the governance, regulations, and compliance, the guys who do governance. You have the guys who do the audits, for example. You have the guys who do risks, right? For example. Now, those are the 8 domains. Then you have identity and access management. Those are core domains that exist. Also, you have application security, right? Those are core domains that exist in cybersecurity, for example, as we are. So those are things that you can go and read up and say, okay, hi, I've heard of this. What's the core behind all of this? Is it something I find interesting? Is it something I can build capacity in? Is it something I can learn, right? Is it something that piques my interest? If it's not something that piques your interest, honestly, it's going to be frustrating having to keep hitting the wall because you're just not going to pick on it, all right? So have yourself take up understanding the basics that exist in the various domains that exist in security. But however, I'll tie it to 2 things. Cybersecurity has 2 core domains. You have information security and then security operations. So information security deals with the guys who do the IT audits, the risk assessments, or the guys who do GRC, governance and compliance, right? Who help companies fulfill regulatory compliance, for example, such as either country-specific compliance or regional-specific compliance, right? And then you have the security operations, right? And the guys who actually do things or do core technical stuff in security, like security engineers, security administrators, the guys who do DevSecOps, for example, right? The guys in your application security aspect, for example. Those are the guys who do core operations. So again, you need to also understand what part piques your interest, right? When you do that, then you can start to define and read up more on these things. One thing that came to mind that I'm going to add as a sub is don't get intimidated by LinkedIn. Believe me, right? So I was having a general conversation with my friends yesterday, and for lack of a better word, LinkedIn is starting to look like the glorified Instagram, right? Where people come and then try to showcase stuff, and then it feels like, oh, if I'm not having this, I'm not meeting up, or if I don't have this, I'm not. No, believe me, don't do that, right? Leverage your community, right? You will get more done, or you get more access to resources and development of good from your community, right, than what you see on LinkedIn. Most people post us on LinkedIn where, yeah, they get a certification, but the question is, can they really defend their experience, right? So now, which takes me to my next part. While trying to get certifications are key to show that indeed you have the requisite experience, or no, the requisite knowledge, right, in the desired field, it does not necessarily mean you have the experience, right? And I always say for people, please go for experience first. The certification should certify your knowledge or your experience. You can do it, right, to help you get your feet in the front door, right? Fair enough. But even when you do that, never stop at that. Ensure that you keep learning and learning and learning and learning, right? I have very few certifications in the field of security right now. Does that mean I'm not relevant? No. There are a few people, for example, who know my capacity. I have my network, I have my leverage, I have people I use in my community that can say, when there's a need for something, I know this guy is competent enough to be able to deliver. They're not looking at my certification, they're looking at my skill set that I have built and shown capacity on over the years. And that's why I always keep hammering, look, certifications are good, but please always ensure that you build capacity, because at some point in time, if you go after certifications, you need to show capacity building. You need to show capacity. And if you're unable to show your capacity on deploying what you've learned or what you know, eventually you will then look like someone, you then look like a sounding ball who is just empty, right? Which isn't good. All right. But if you have the capacity, and let's say certifications is something you don't have, like this, you can easily get them. All you need to know is, okay, you're spending the money, getting registered and writing them. All right. And that's that. So to also help us further, I would just read out a few things that I feel we can use, or certifications, entry-level certifications, for those of us who are very much keen about certifications that we can do. And one of the places you can easily get as a learning point is Coursera. And one of the few places that I know that, one of the few guys that give a lot of good training is Google, for example. Google has a lot of training content on Coursera, and the good thing about it, for each of these training modules, right, you can apply for scholarship and you get them, so you don't have to pay for them. Coursera can be quite expensive, and if you're not at the point where you can afford to pay for these learning platforms, right, you can actually always leverage the scholarship application. And trust me, there are lots of content on YouTube. Lots of content on YouTube. Read. So I'm just going to give a few certifications that are relevant. For starters, I would say get the basics and the CompTIA, the basics. So the CompTIA A+ for computer administration, N+ for computer networking, S+ for computer security. I think there's also one for cloud that gives you the basics and the general overview of security across landscape, right? So with that, for example, you can hold conversations with people and say, oh, okay, I've done this. I tried to help myself to get the basics, right? Now I've shown interest in wanting to do this. You also have the CompTIA, like I mentioned. There are a few of them by GIAC. They're quite expensive, so as an entry level, I wouldn't say you do them, but if you do them, usually they're quite intensive and they give you almost close to practical experience, right? But they're quite pricey, like $6,000, $7,000 euros, however it is. ISC also has ISC Associate, and it gives you the basic fundamentals, right, of security as well. So that's one of the things you can actually also go into and then study and then see, to at least build some level of capacity before going, or to show yourself that, oh yes, I have done my own basic part of doing the basic learning, right, and getting certified in the basics enough to pick up an entry-level position. All right. Another thing I wrote here is read everything in security, right? Updates, tech trends, news, compliance, regulation, regulatory requirements, updates on general industry requirements. Read as much as you can, right? You will never know where this information is going to be relevant. And the funny part about it is you pick a lot of things on the cybersecurity space, on how on the joining cybersecurity from there. So do a lot of reading, join security blogs, read up on updates, right? Join communities, read up on posts, understand what it is they're saying and what they're doing in there. Another part I'd say is, if possible, look for unpaid internships. 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, yeah, they may seem like nothing, right? But the good thing about it is, with unpaid internships, that gives you an entry level into the space, right? So imagine having to go for an unpaid internship and you are able to deliver at a certain capacity level. What happens is, if there's an opening for roles at that point in time, you automatically get referred, right? I've seen people who have transitioned into different careers, who have developed their career. And I'm sure Greg, I think at some point, one of the videos, he mentioned that he had done an unpaid internship at some point, right? To give him the leverage, to give him that experience, to have that industry knowledge, right? And the good thing about it is, right, you will you're gradually building your community that way, right? Also, another thing I also put down here is learn people's skills. Most of the roles you would get in the cybersecurity space, aside from LinkedIn, are going to be from referrals. Usually for us in the security space, most of the jobs we get when we transition from one role to another are usually based on referrals. People who have worked with in the past, like managers who have moved, for example, or colleagues who find us, who know that, yes, we're good on certain roles or whatever the requirement, that you just say, oh, hi, there's a new role. Are you interested? Oh, yes, let's have a conversation around it. And then it happens. I remember one of the times when a company I was working for were in crisis, right? Most of the jobs, most of the offers and conversations I had were post referrals, right? People who had worked with me and said, hi, okay, talk to this person, talk to that person. Eventually I landed a few roles, I landed a few offers on it, right? After leveraging my community. So that's one thing you also need to do. Build a community, build capacity, do your self-development, and believe me, the sky is just a starting point. Questions? I know a few people, I don't know. I think, yeah, so that's it for me. I hope I was able to touch on most of the aspects that were asked. I hope I did. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. What we'll do is, because of time and also so we can maximize impact, we would take questions at the end of the second session, right? So please, if you have questions, just put them in the chat. We're going to treat them each one. None is going to get past us, right? I'm sure Adiola is also looking at the chat, and he can, it will definitely look at the questions and then let us know how it is going. So quickly, we're going to let's just appreciate it, for that. Thank you very much. So I know most of us are in our houses, so just clap and throw what Google Meet will allow you to throw. So thank you so much, for this. We're quickly going to, please, if you have questions, note them down. I know you mentioned some of these courses. I don't know how many of us actually got notes of those courses down, so I'm sure some might have questions regarding that. So please, let's just keep that. Without wasting any more time, I'm going to invite the second speaker, Mr. Timothy Akintunde, to take the floor. So Timothy is a graduate project manager with one of the largest energy companies in the UK, and he is, let him tell you about himself. Let me not waste my time trying to describe someone when the person is here. So welcome, Timothy. The floor is yours, and then please just share with us from your own standpoint. Let's welcome Timothy, everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, everybody's muted. Can you hear me clearly anyways?
You look like a ghost, as if we can't see you clearly. Are you in between realms? We can see you now. If you step back, you go out of focus, right? So
okay.
as possible.
All right. I'm just gonna share my screen, so possibly we could see. Just a sec. Can we see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
All right. Right.
Please go ahead.
All right. So good afternoon, everybody. Just to be able to like keep tabs of time, and I decided to make it into like a slide presentation. Yep. So this Tech4ALL roundtable session with team transitioning to project management career path. So I all started, just a bit of background of my own journey. So I started off my career path going to uni. I went to Bells University back in Nigeria, and I started my internship with Design Group. I studied architecture, and 2016 I finished my first degree, and then went back, finished my second degree in 2018, and then went for service afterwards. And then while in service, I worked with Chris, local architect, where I worked for the longest, even after service. And then I came into the UK. So I mean, while I was working, I think that was when the whole nudge to leave construction or to leave design into project management started. Yeah. So, but at the time, I'd gotten some certifications in project management, but I didn't feel confident enough to to go into it. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just get a degree in project management, and I didn't want it in Nigeria because, well, I didn't want it in Nigeria, and I came to the UK. So I did a master's in project management, and I think giving this kind of background would help. I mean, one or two people in the room as well to relate with that. It might just be your own situation as well. So I got a master's in project management, and I think when I was doing that, I finished in June. I finished in May, graduated in July. Then I got my job where I work now in SSC, which is in energy, as a graduate project manager. And then afterwards, this year, I decided to add my, what's it called? My certifications now because they're relevant to my work. So I decided to remove some of the certifications I've packed in the pack, which well, they are good, but I'll come back to that. But I intentionally put this year, which is why I got this year, and so many more that I'm booked into, jump on for the rest of the year. All right. So is there a secret to this? I think yes. I think there's a secret to it, but I think it's an open secret. The first is information, and I must say thank you to Adiola for his section because he pointed some things that I feel like I also reiterate in course of my own presentation as well. So I think the first thing is information. Information is very vital for whatever you want to do, and I think that's why we're here as well. I think the second is preparing for opportunities. I think when we are getting prepared for then opportunity comes, then we can achieve success and we can thrive. And the second is determination. It's not going to be like Adiola rightly said as well. Like it's not going to be like in a 6 months you're going to make the money. It doesn't come like that eventually. But with determination, there's an importance attached to determination in the course of this transition into project management and the likes. Then mentorship. I mean, I can't overstress this enough, but mentorship is something, and I'm going to give you a bit of a story onto my own transition with mentorship. And I think the most important after all of this is continuous development. You can never, I mean, because we're in a changing world, and part of project management methodologies is agile. And the major thing about agile is the change, is consistent change that happens in the business, in whatever work in business eventually. So you have to make sure that you're giving yourself to continuous development, connect, grow, learn every day. And I think that's something I think I enjoy about my work is I learn every day. So the next slide is what are the choices? So like I said, I came into the UK, and I think my presentation would rather, it might be have a sort of bias to people in Europe because I mean that's my situation right now. So upon coming to the UK and doing a master's, of course I need to get a job. The master's was just to like help me get a job, and I needed to know how to go about that. And so my reality was, okay, I need to get a PM job. This is what I really want to do. I'm a student, and we might have students in the room, which I mean, I think we have some students in the room, or I could have found myself in the UK and then I want to career switch. I don't want to do what I'm doing now. So these are the possibilities. It's being a student, and if I'm as a student, what are the opportunities I have? I mean, I have the internships, I have graduate scheme, and I could go on experience higher or get into an entry level role. The most important thing, which is vital point of wherever, is to get the job, or I could career switch and get into an entry level role. But I also add some constraints of, okay, I need to get a visa sponsorship. So I need to get a job that will give me a visa sponsorship. And, you know, getting the entry level roles, I'd apply for many of them and I'll get rejections because of the visa type I was holding at the time. And so yeah, so I was like, okay, I would need to come back to the graduate role. The entry level role, we're going to pay more, but I needed something by the side, which was my reality. And that's why I put the reality. So what are the options? The options are either you go through the graduate scheme, and the graduate scheme gives you, if you graduated between the last 2 years or you're going to graduate in the last 2 years, you can jump on this. And I think it goes even into the US and I think some other parts of Europe as well. So how does this go through? What is the process? You need to get into the job application, get your resumes, your application questions, you get into the job website, you'll go through job applications, resume, list of sponsors. I mean, this is for people in the UK anyways. List of sponsored companies. This is what I really did. I listed them out, who will sponsor, and then you get into screening questions. So when you get through this process, you get into the online assessments. You will see them. Some will make you do some are SHL, some are GRE, some are GMAT, and it varies for company. So just to take a detour and to bring in mentorship into this. So I attended an event like this by someone who has now become my mentor. And I think in his presentation, the only thing that really struck for me was it was working with Rolls-Royce at the time. And I was like, this is it. I mean, I'm coming from an architectural background, so it's what should appeal to me was like was construction. But when I said I was working in Rolls-Royce, I was like, yeah, this looks like somebody who is like doing what I want to do. And it began the conversation, the relationship we had after the event. I mean, I came back into to talk to have a chat with him, and then we started all of this. So on the online assessment, back to the online assessment now is you see CHL, you see GRE, you see GMAT. They could be hard, and I'm kind of a realist, so I will tell you the truth. And the not so nice truth is they could be really difficult, but like I said in the other slide is you have to be determined and you are up for it as well. So yeah, and then you do video recording. I did the easiest, but there are ways around them. There are ways around them. Some are games. I remember I did one for what was this of this petrol company, Shell, and it was games. I didn't know how. I mean, I had to like apply over and over to understand what it was, but it was what it was at the time. And then we have the behavioral questions as well. These are questions that talks about your behavior. These are the situation-based questions. And then the application review, the companies review your application and then they review your CV at this stage. Is after you've gone through the online assessment, they now do the CV review. And then the assessment centers, this is where you come into interview and then the group assessments. And then once you can pass this stage, then you're sure of the job offer. So what's the second option? The second option is the entry roles or the experience higher. So what's the process? I put here support, and I think I want to like lead well on this bit. You need support from people, support from the community, and the support comes in different ways. Support in even getting to know the job openings, support in knowing what is the best instruments tool you want to put in your, just for a minute. Is my slide moving? Can we all see my slide?
We can see your slide, but it's not moving. I just texted you. Okay, I think someone else is in the chat also.
Oh, my screen is like, okay. Can we all see the slides now? This slide where I put what are the options for project management, project management?
Nope.
We can't see it. We can't.
Oh my. Okay. Okay. What do I do?
We can stop sharing and share
Okay,
again.
I should stop sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, and just see how that plays out.
Okay. So sorry about that.
It's all right.
Let me reshare. Can we see my slides now?
No.
What about now?
Okay, we can see it now.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I mean, I'm not so good with Google Meet. I think I use what's it called more. Teams. Yeah. Can we see it?
Yes, we can see now clearly.
Okay, good.
Yeah, makes sense. Now this puts
Right.
context to what you've been saying.
Okay. So sorry.
Go ahead.
All right. So you guys didn't see this?
Nope.
Ah, I'm sorry. Do you want me to run this through? I mean, but this is what I said. I thought everybody was saying it. I'm so sorry about that. All right. So, like I said, what was the secret? Information, opportunities, determination, mentorship, and continuous development. And like I said, the reality, what are the choices and what are the realities that we can delve into? Like I said, internships, graduate scheme, experience higher or entry level roles. The major thing is the good job, then the career switch, entry level, or the experience higher. So I said these are the process for the graduate scheme, because I'm on a graduate scheme, and this was what I had to go through with different companies. And then before I arrived here, so it's you putting your resume in order, and I would delve in more into putting your resume in order to not I mean, people have the bias like, oh, I'm coming from mass communication. Am I applying to a project management role in tech or in manufacture or in energy or in construction? For a graduate role, what you study does not matter. And I'm telling you for a fact, I have a colleague at work whose first degree was in theology, and she's working as a PM in energy. So you're like, how did she like navigate that? But because at this stage, what they're really looking out for are the soft skills you have, which is most importantly is communication, the motivation and your drive as well. So yeah, you go through all of this process, application questions, I put this of sponsorship companies that you want to apply to companies that use sponsorship for students, international students in Europe, and then the screening questions. And like I said, CHL, GRE, there are different platforms where they use for the online assessment, then video recording. They give you like the video recording talks about like they give you like a question around the company, and then you record it and send it back to them. It's timed. It's about 2 minutes. Some companies is 1 minute. Some companies is 1 minute 30. And then some companies at this stage will tell you to do games. For some people who have applied to the likes of what's this elf thing? NHS. NHS gives you, I think, 30 minutes. Some do games. Like I said, the petroleum company and Shell, they do games, and then some ask behavioral questions at this stage. Then when you come into the application review, they do the application review at this stage, and the CV and qualification review, which is just like, okay, do you have the requirement? They want to check, oh, have you graduated more than 3 years? If it's more than 3 years, then they like put it off. Is at this stage is not personal yet. Then at this stage is where it gets so personal, which is the assessment center. Just to check again, can we see my cursor on the assessment center? Hello.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, and this is where you do interview, group assessments, and the likes as well. So then, if you pass through this stage and you're successful, then you get a job offer. The next slide is where I talked about the experience hire or the entry roles, and I said, what is the process? I think first of all, you need support. From support, you get information. You can get there's something Adola said, which is referrals. I can tell, for instance, there's an opening in my company and I feel like I know what you have. I can put in word like, oh, why don't you like apply to this role? Why don't you apply to this? Or this company is hiring. So I think support is very important. And then self-development. While you're waiting at that, yes, you want to take trainings, relevant trainings, you want to get a degree, whatever. They're important, but self-development is like from your mind. You're on YouTube listening to people in that role, in that field as well. And because Adela mentioned, like you want to get a mentor who is like doing project management or where's doing this kind of role. You want to follow them. So I mean, relevant trainings I think you can pick up is you can take trainings on Agile, on Scrum, PMP, Prince 2, and then you can go to Coursera. Coursera will give you some. I did some free courses with Coursera 2 years ago. I think that was on Prince 2 in Coursera, and it was really good. Did I ever add it to my, what's it called? Yeah, I added it, but it didn't like help me get the job eventually, because where I work, we don't even use that methodology. We don't use Prince 2. We use other stuff. We use Kanban and the like. So, but it gives you like, I think it just helps your mind and prepare you for wherever you find yourself. So how do you go about this as well? If you have the support, you have this, you go to code mailing people. You can code mail hiring managers and the like, then go for network events. I strongly recommend Alito. Let me go back. Alito is for people of color, of minority and of color. And if you check them on LinkedIn, Alito Foundation, those guys are very good. They help you get internships, they help you get mentorship programs, and it helps you like see the opportunities in different what's the word now, different sectors where you could possibly land a job. And then career fairs, there are a lot of career fair programs that go on in different parts of, I mean, the UK or in Europe. Try and point for one of those things. And then I'm going to put LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm a big fan of LinkedIn because LinkedIn has really helped me in the sense that I'll tell you what I did to get one of the things I did in landing my role was I made a list of 10 companies, or some at some point was, so for some sector it was even like 20 companies in this sector that I feel like will work in construction, in energy, transportation, telecoms. And I went to their LinkedIn page and liked everything, followed every of them. I wasn't really looking at individuals. I was looking at these companies. These are the people that have what I wanted. So I was following them. I was engaging them. So when they were putting out any new roles, I was saying it. It was just like waiting for my own. So it's like you need to engage people pretty much. You need to get your LinkedIn profile up to date that an hiring manager will come to look at it. You understand? Put some engagement there. Oh, you see someone talks about this thing that you're interested in, put a like, celebrate it, put a comment. What you're doing is you're also generating traffic for yourself, not for content creation, but for hiring managers. Check out these things as well, because I've seen a lot of hiring managers come into my DMs, or they have this role, and I'm like, oh, this is good. Then I want to like recommend somebody, but they go back to your LinkedIn page to go check, and then they don't see anything like that. Some LinkedIn pages sit within like what the degree you got like 2 years ago. I'm not saying go to LinkedIn to lie, but you want to make sure that's the go-to first for a hiring manager to go do some back-end review over you. So pathways to project management. What is the myth? Oh my. I thought, what is the myth? People say project management is the most available role. Well, it's not the entire truth. So I would say, yeah, why project management is good. There are other places where you can explore that are beside project management. Project controls. Project controls, and you don't need too much. You don't need too many tools for project control. To be honest, somebody asked me like, "Oh, what tool do I need? What software?" And do I need to be a project manager? I was like, just know Excel. And I knew he didn't believe me. I was like, just know Excel. Like, to the best of your, it was like, why? I was like, just know Excel to start up with. Any other thing you need to know, you're going to be trained on it. Because if I tell you, oh, go learn P6, you can come into a company like where I work, we don't use P6. We'd rather take a third party to do our, what's it called, our scheduling and planning for us. And then within the company for my team, we now use Microsoft Project. So if I learn P6, you only have the knowledge, but it's not of any relevance to the role eventually. But I'm saying like there are other roles you could also check out for in companies that will still give you a connection to project management, and that's project controls, project planner. If you can use P6, then you want to check project planner or project scheduler, and they pay well. Actually, in London, they pay these guys for entry roles over 50,000 annually. So these guys, they earn really, 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 really great. They earn really great. Risk managers, if you've gotten a degree and then you've done some course in risk, you've got NEBOSH or whatever, you want to check out roles in risk management. And what do? You are assessing risk for people, checking risk registers, producing risk registers, and checking, okay, do they match up to industry standard, whatever industry you find yourself, gas, whatever. Design managers. And these are one of the options I was checking out for. I mean, I got into a role, I got an offer for a design manager in a construction company. And it was the same CV, just a little tweak that I applied for a project manager role that I also applied for a design manager role. And they didn't give me the project manager, they gave me the design manager role. And yeah, so I'm just saying, like, everybody talks about project manager, but there are other places you could actually check in. And the other one is project development manager. So currently I'm working in energy, and I came in as a grad in project management. But actually my current role is actually project development management. And what do we do there is we do feasibilities and we do planning before the project gets into the project manager's hands. We are the ones who do the back end of the feasibility of the project even happening to start with. And this, you won't necessarily see the company put out any role and call it project development manager. Or yeah, I think you will see, okay, yeah, you see that. And most people will not even want to look at it. They just say, you just say development or developer. And people just feel like, nah, that role is not there. But this role, it's chilled. This kind of role, my manager I've been working with the past 7 months, I didn't see him until 2 days ago. We both work from different places. I work in my house, he works in his house, and then we just had to meet up over this week. And that's tell you how much of how really interesting this role is. It doesn't stress you that much. You, of course, do your 9 to 5. You still need to be determined. You need to make sure you're getting onto. But whatever you're going to do here, the company is going to train you to use their own tools, to use their own software, whatever. And then products manager or product management. This is another place like people are not. I feel like people are not really like looking into, but it also gives you, and that's even closer to tech as well. So I think these are things we should. It's the reality, especially in Europe. I can tell you it's a reality, and these jobs they really pay good money. So where are the jobs? Because I don't want to like go into depth of this is how you can go through it one step after the other, reviewing CV, but I'm saying where are the jobs? Networks. The jobs are within your networks, your community of people, your contact list, what they are posting, the events you're going for. LinkedIn. For me, I always say get on LinkedIn. And because people are not coming to the tool, I know people, you see in my LinkedIn might seem intimidating, but I think for me, when I just came in, was when I got into the UK, like I had to go back and open a new LinkedIn page. And I mean, I just took myself, whatever my colleagues were doing, and just started building it gradually, just putting my little wins there. And yeah, be on LinkedIn, follow what every company is saying. What it does to you is most companies will put in what they are doing currently there. You see their communication guys putting what they are doing there. And when you come into interviews, these are the things you want to tell them, like, oh, they fascinated you into the jobs as well. So I would say strongly LinkedIn. If you're looking for a career switch, get on LinkedIn. Then if you're looking through the graduate scheme, the best, in my opinion, the best website you want to have this, as a matter of fact, as an app on your phone, is Grad Cracker. If you're coming into the graduate scheme, this is where you want to be. Grad Cracker. Every day, set your notifications to the kind of jobs you want. In project management, you will never go wrong having Grad Cracker here. Total Jobs, you get jobs there. Glassdoor, you even give you reviews about the project as well, about the role and the company, their system, their culture, and the likes, and then company websites. So, like I would say, make list of companies it's just Google search. Google search list of companies doing well in your country, in social sector. Check their website, be there. Add their website to your cookies. They will suggest to you every day. If you're using an iPhone, they'll suggest it to you, the things happening in that company. And pretty much those are the things I feel like they are where the jobs are really hidden. So, like I said, LinkedIn, Grad Cracker, a little foundation is something I really recommend for everybody of skin color, Nigerian in the UK or in Europe. You want to check them out. And then Google. Google is always your friend. Google is always your friend. Google will lead you to YouTube. Google will lead you anywhere. So check things out here. Then the determination, lastly, is you get, unfortunately, while trying to make this switch. I just had to take a screenshot of my mail. This was 2022, 2 years ago when I was applying. I would apply. When I saw this, it really cracked me up. I didn't know when I applied to Heathrow recruitment. I was like, I just knew I was applying 6 hours every day. day and night, make sure like I clock the 6 hours just applying, and then they would come. The unfortunate list will come. For instance, this BBA was an experienced role. I'd gotten the role already. We're talking about remunerations, and then because of my visa, they had to come back. So unfortunately, we are looking for someone who is going to start immediately. Was it sad? Yes, very, very sad. But you just always know, like, we just 1 yes will cancel all the, unfortunately. 1 yes is enough. And you want to be like me, you can chill and say you want to have 3 yeses or 3 years. And then, but 1 yes is enough. You're going to do one job eventually. So 1 yes is enough. And just know, like, when you come into the opportunity, remember team has told you, congratulations will come at the end, and you're gonna have it. So it comes with it, but just put your mind at it, and yeah, with the right system in place, you got your mentors who continue to, like, tell you it happens. It really happens. Yeah, these things unfortunately will come, and sometimes you don't have to take it personal. It's not because they don't like. You might not just be. You might not just be that person who wants to come, who will really fit into into the company or into their culture, and they've seen that in your interview. Don't take it personal. Yours will come, and it might take forever. I mean, I've seen many success stories of my friends here, and I've seen many unfortunately come in. And sometimes it's take a break in your job search, on your job applications. When you feel like, okay, the opportunities are getting overwhelming, take a break, take 2 days off, do whatever makes you happy. Get off it. Get off it for a while so you can keep your mind fresh. Then come back into reapplying again. And yeah, I can tell you it's gonna come. The yes is gonna come. And take this as my congratulations to you in the future. So when the congratulations come, remember somebody told you first. Yeah. All right, I think I would like to stop there, take questions if there are any. Thank you very much, Greg, for bringing me on this. And thank you for listening. And once again, I apologize for the slide issues. I'm so sorry about that. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much,
Please,
Timothy.
can we have the slide?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Timothy. So we're going to run through questions. But first, before we take people that are actually going to raise their hands, I'm going to go into the chat. Just going to go into the chat section and check, the questions that are there. Mary, please just hold on a bit, right? Just going to the chat, right, to check those that have actually asked questions before. Especially from the very first session, so that we can, clear it out and not leave anything pending. So if you have a question, just raise your hand. I'm going to come to you eventually. So Busayo, Ibi Damito, right? You posted, you said, good day, I have a question for Adiola. I asked you to share it. You didn't share it, but are you here right now? Can you just, speak up and let's hear?
Yes, I can. What question?
The question was supposed to be for you by Busai or Ibidamiton, but the person I'm thinking is a lady. She didn't type the question.
Okay. Okay.
So since I don't think she's online anymore, right? I'll just move on to the next one. So the next one was for you, Adiola. It says, please, would it be nice if the last facilitator, that's you, Adiola, can drop some of these courses you mentioned here, so everyone can copy them and carry out further research. So Adiola, please, just type in the courses that you mentioned and put in the chats. Yeah, I think that's all for you now. Then the next question was from Additional Gabriel that says, what are the required certifications to start as a project manager? I think Tim answered that in his presentation. But Tim, do you want to just, say one or two things about that? Required certifications to start as a project manager.
Do you want to go for that now, Greg?
Yes, please.
All
We'll
right.
just I'm just going through the questions, in the way they
Let me turn and see the particular question.
So posted 1453 by Additional Gabriel. What are the required certifications to start as a project manager? So we'll run through quickly and we'll then take the people that have their hands raised.
I'll say PMP. Get some PMP courses and do their certifications. I think, and I would say it depends on where you are. If you're in the US, Prince 2 is good. most of their methodologies there is like agile, so they do Prince 2 a lot. But in the UK, except you want to go fully into tech, then you want to take Prince 2 as well. I did Prince 2 training. By the time I was going to sit in for the exam, I was almost sure of the sector I was going to go into, and I've done my research, and like I said, I had a mentor as well who had a bit of knowledge. I won't say a bit, who had like some connection in the company as well. And they're giving him some heads up, like, now we don't use Prince 2, yeah, we use Kanban methodology review for our framework. And so by the time I was going to learn it, but it was like, no, don't learn it. When you get in there, they're going to teach you. And what I discovered over time is even when we bring in people at any level, you will still go into that learning phase as well. Like the team where I work now, the guys who came after me, who are like 2 steps ahead of me, I get to teach them some of these things as well. Like teach them the softwares we use, whatever. So I would say it's gonna be like it's going to be, first of all, like where you want to go, what area you want to, on what sector you want to go into. But I'll say for starters, like get Prince 2, get some agile, what's it called? Training. Yeah, I think beyond certification, get some agile training. Yeah, it's good. And then PMP, PMQ. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. So I think the next question would be from Abose Diolawe. She's asking, please, is Mr. Timothy taking mentees? I'd like for him to be my mentor. Are you taking me mentors? Are you taking me mentees, Timothy? Let the person know now so that they know where to put their hopes.
I don't know what to say.
Because
I'm trying to see the question. Is Abose there in the UK? Is she still online?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
She said yes. She replied already.
Oh, okay. She replied. Okay.
Oh yeah, we could have a chat. That's fine.
All right. So
yeah,
it says that's possible. Now that we've got that sorted. So Okoye Funaya says, I would like to know if these jobs are remote jobs. Quickly, I think that's for Timothy also. Quickly, like if the jobs are remote, the jobs you talked about, the project management job, are they remote jobs? If you have raise your hand and you want to speak, we'll get to you. Just want to run through these things quickly.
you get remote jobs. You get if it's remote you really want to do, you get remote jobs. But for starters, I wouldn't say go for remote jobs because though I work hybrid. I do home and I travel, go to site, go to the office. But I think for starters, don't start with remote job because when you get stuck in work, you want to get enough help. I mean, the company structures will always allow you to get up, but when you go into the office, one thing I'm sure about is you even listen to people's, I won't say when you listen to people's calls, it gives you like what is happening in the company as well, and then you can get some proper, what's it called. But remote jobs, definitely you see a number of them as well.
All right, thank you very much. So someone asking, when do you advise we start putting in job applications? Is it before finishing master's degree or after master's degree?
If you're looking for, I think if you're in the UK or in Europe, you start applying the day you got into the UK. You start applying the day you got into UK. Start applying. If you've not started applying, you're a day late. And then for the grad scheme, I was going to say this. It actually opens. Most companies open their grad scheme openings from August, end of August, beginning of September into January. The serious companies put up their openings within September, January. So whatever year you came in, that your January intake or September intake, start applying. And then some companies will still feel like, oh, we need a grad, we need some support, and then they separate it up even in April, in January, or in February. So, and that's why I said be on LinkedIn, be on GradCracker, set your notifications there. It's going to definitely pop up. But if you're looking for higher, what's it called, a hired role, start applying from the moment you start your course. Start applying. I mean,
There's
and why I
also,
say that is get your
yeah, I'm
opportunities
wondering
early.
why if not applying, like no, like they've not graduated. So like would they tell the company that, oh, when I finish I'll join you, or if they, how would that work?
So the truth is, you're not gonna. I mean, you could be lucky. You're gonna apply now and get a job now. You're gonna make mistakes.
Mm.
So gather your mistakes early enough. I mean, get the lessons early enough. So that's what I'm saying. Apply, and then when you get the job, you can work around the flexibility of, oh, can I do just the number? I mean, if you have, I'm thinking you don't have any, what's the word? You don't have any restriction to your work, to what you can do for work. So you can guess that you can do that while you're studying as well. I had friends that got a job like a month into getting into the country, and it worked remotely all through.
Mm. Okay, that's awesome to hear. So I'm just going to go through those that have raised their hands. Starting from the first person, that is Mojisola Mary. Please
Yeah,
ask your questions.
good afternoon, guys. Mine is not really a question or anything. It's just an oversight kinda. Um, I joined this program because it's Tech for All, but the way it sounded like Tech for some. So because it's really sounding like Tech for some. I'm actually in the UK studying my
Mm.
master's at like environmental management, which is
Mhm.
actually sustainability and energy sector.
Yeah.
What I was expecting is that this meeting we talk about, okay, my what is actually project management. Then how, before we now get to where. So it's more or less like we're already talking about where and the results in total, leaving the how behind. Because
Uh,
uh, lately I've been, because this is my second year and I'll be done by next year. So yeah, the job is already like already at the peak of I need to get something that will make me stay in the country. And I've been looking at data analysis and project management and going about my research and job that's actually available in my field and that is easily to switch is actually the project management, which is available in the energy sector, and that's why I joined. So I was actually expecting that, okay, now that you've decided, okay, between okay, project management, this is how, this is where you start from, this is what you need to do, this is the right thing that you need, the right skill that you need to have, this is the kind of platform whereby you can, this is a particular training you can start with, you do this, you do
yeah.
that, then if you need review, I can come to Timothy, I know
Mm,
Timothy now, I can come to Timothy and say, Timothy, I did this, I'm stuck. What do I need to do right?
okay.
Before
Mm,
even talking about application for jobs. Because
okay.
if you don't have the right skill and if you don't even know the how to, you're just wasting your time. And just keep getting unfortunately, I'll be feeling like, oh, why am I getting unfortunate? And you're not doing anything right. And the only right thing that you even need to do is just one small thing. So that's what I was expecting. I was hoping to hear more of how. Not. I hope you get what I mean.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll just let Timothy respond to that for about a minute, and then we can always pick it up later so that we can run through the questions that we have. Is that okay, Mary?
Right. Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Mary, thank you for that question. I think it's a very valid one. Um, so I mean, I said in passing, I think it was before the slides came up, and I think I said it in between, like, if you want to go through as a student, you want to go through the graduate scheme, you necessarily don't need any trainings. If you want to go to the grad scheme, what you need is the soft skills. And I said it like, what we don't really have from our own part here is the soft skills, is the communication. What they're really looking out for, what your manager is looking out for, is your motivation, your drive into coming into work. It's pretty much how do you demonstrate that you can communicate properly. And communication is not just like, oh, maneuvering with the language. It's communicating with, I mean, project management will tell you about stakeholder management, risk management, time management, cost management. You don't need to have the technical skills to do it. I had no technical skills around energy. What's it called? For my own personal growth is why I'm learning engineering now, because I'm seeing more opportunities that will come up in years to come. But I didn't come in with any technical skills. I would get into like I got into like third stage with network rail, for instance. I don't know nothing about transportation. So I'm saying like it's the soft skills that really matters, and how you take up all the experiences you've had and how you communicate those experiences you've had, either if wherever you've worked, is how you demonstrate it to them, like, oh, you'll be a good fit. Because eventually what project management is about is you being able to manage everybody, everything, knowing who is supposed to do this and getting the person to do their work. So technical skills come into place if you know what you're expected. So I think and I apologize that we missed a bit of that, but it's the how is in gets um um put your soft skills together properly. But if you're looking for like an entry role or hard role, I would strongly advise you take courses around PNP. And I spoke with Greg about this. I know because I took trainings as well while I was a student with somebody who is now my mentor. I took trainings for PMP, I took trainings for PMI to do PMQ and all those things. I took the training. Did they come in handy in my role? Yes, they're coming handy now in my role. But to enter, they were not necessarily I wouldn't say, I think in retrospect now, I won't say they were like the pointers that gave me the job. But in the job, they're helping me to settle down properly. That if you get what I mean. So I mean I could recommend about two that I know, because I see people do, I don't want to mention names, but I see a lot of companies, I mean, especially in this climb, and I've seen some of my friends who joined the training and I'm like, nah, like it's too theoretical for what you see in practice, for what you see in business eventually, because I've been doing a bit of project management before coming here. So I would say I can recommend two trainings if you're open to that. Yes, because I think they're very important as well. They give you like how to get into, because project management is about working through framework, through gate one to gate wherever. But for my company we use gate 5 or gate 6, knowing initiation phase to handing over to delivering. Yeah, so it's really essential as well.
All right, thank you very much, Timothy. So we're gonna go to Williams Oluwatobilaba. Please go ahead quickly. And let us know who the question is for. Is it Timothy or Adeola, so that I do not assume, and then we can get it properly. Williams Oluwatobilaba, are you here? Okay, move on to Olajide or Goniro. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you, Adela. And thanks, Tech, for. So, my question is for Adela. So, I'm trying to get into cybersecurity, although I have some basic personal experience in it. I've been learning, trying to get skills and all, doing labs, try out the box, and all, and setting up my own personal environment and all. But there's been a little challenge, getting in and getting a job in cybersecurity. Although I've been specifically looking
Can you
for remote roles.
clearly, or if maybe the mic is too close
Okay.
to you? Yeah, I'm
Oh, okay.
hear you. Yeah,
Is it better now?
much better.
Okay. Sorry. Do I go again, or I should just continue?
No, I heard the button part where you say you're doing hack the box, right? And you're trying to get jobs
Okay.
in,
Yeah,
right?
in cybersecurity, yes. Although I'm specifically looking at remote roles for now, and then I'm also in Nigeria, so I'm not in the UK, because I think mostly we've been talking about UK and the environment, but currently in Nigeria. So I'm sponsoring myself. So because I know you talked about you need a sponsor, you need a mentor. I'm sponsoring myself, and currently I don't have a mentor. I'm having a challenge about navigating how to get a mentor, how to get someone to be a mentor. I really don't know how to navigate that aspect. So I really need your advice with that, and also whatever advice you have with getting roles in cybersecurity. Thank you.
All right. From what I can pick out, right? You're currently doing things around penetration testing, all right? And
Exactly.
if you're doing things around penetration testing, that means you're probably looking for roles in pen tests. On so I'll answer you with this, right? You would have to have some automation skills if you're doing pen tests and have some certifications in API security as well. Because most guys who are looking for people with pen test are looking who are pen testers are looking for people who've got experience or actually certified. One, two. The difficulty around that can be as a result of most of all these pen test companies, right, have something they call NDAs or have or work with government companies or work with companies that they cannot divulge certain details. So you would have to be basically in the country. So you hardly ever see remote roles that are pen test. Well, in my opinion, though, most people that I've seen that are pen testers have had to relocate from the country they were in into the country that they were hiring them. I know of a friend who recently relocated to Czech Republic. However, he's not only pen tester; he's also a developer. He's got experience with coding and scripting, and he built his own model itself. Now, in the pen testing phase, I now this is just a personal opinion. I would always advise against people going into that space. Why? Because the gap in terms of knowledge you would need is going to cost you a lot. And you have people who are way more experienced than that, right? So except if you're going into a company that you're starting out fresh from there and you're building capacity in the company from the start, most companies would not want to go through the hassle of hiring you if you're not meeting certain requirements. And the requirements for exactly when it comes to vendors are quite steep and hard, right? So I can say keep trying. I'm not going to discourage you, right? This is, like I said, my own personal opinion and what I've seen and people who are pen tested, right? Keep learning, keep trying. But I would say upskill yourself in doing certifications like the CEH, for example. The EC Council usually has a few certifications in for pen testers. The one of the ones I know you can do that will really get your and get people to see you is to do the offensive security as well. It's quite intense. That's one of the hardest. People are doing it right now. There's OSCP, there's OSCE, and there's the 3 levels, right? If you can get that, then you pretty much get with that you can get anyone's attention. But for you to even be able to pass those certifications, because they are really extensive, core practical hands-on, and they're quite intense, right? They give you like actual real life scenarios, not story scenarios, right? You would have to build a lot of capacity in that. So check out OSCP, offensive security. They have 3 major certifications. It's actually brought up by Kali Linux. You probably heard of it as well. So I'm not sure. I assume it's not something. So there's OSCP, there's OSCE, and there's another. If you can go through getting the certifications, then you stand a better chance and showcasing yourself across board to other industries. I saw Busayo waving a hand. Sorry, I hope that answers the question, Olajide.
Yes, that does. But is there a space I can probably catch you so I can ask probably further questions?
You can search for me on LinkedIn.
So I don't waste time.
I'm easy to find. You can search for me on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I know Busayo had said she had a question earlier, and then I think I saw her raise her hand. If it's a he, I don't know.
Is she here now? I know she raised her hand before and we called and no response. So
yeah, I think I saw her like raise her hand as well in the call. Maybe she's dropped out as well.
Joanne, it seems like you have a question. We're gonna get to you. Just please bear with us a bit. We're just running through the queue. So the next person is Hollins Esegba. Please go ahead with your question. Hollins, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for these sessions. They're very, very enlightening and illuminating. I'm actually putting forward some of my latest right now. Okay, I hit the rock when I was trying to decide on what to do, because my background has been on the oil and gas sector. graduated with petroleum marketing technology, a diploma, higher national diploma. Okay, so but for the past 4 5 years, I've had an experience about 4 years with the oil and gas. Then the last 5 years of my life has been on the media side. Okay, working on news stories, SEO, publishing, editing, showing up, researching and everything. So at a point I stopped and I was like, okay, fine. I've always had an eye for tech and I've been looking at how to enter, how to penetrate. I had some time on new tests, testing software, but I didn't really enjoy it so much. But I wanted something that actually rhymed with my field, the oil and gas sector, either the project management side or the cybersecurity side. So this is what this is where my question comes from. I understand that from the things the both speakers mentioned, they mentioned some basic things that one has to have. Looking at the cybersecurity side, we're looking at CompTIA and the others. But before I knew about this, I was already going through Cisco. I did the networking basics, was trying to, get into. But at some point, I felt like, oh, this was really going on. What should you do? Um, Looking at the United Kingdom, because I got married, I'll be coming in by before month's end. So I was thinking, what's the logical approach to these things? I don't know how long, because the courses on the Cisco Academy has been something else. Sometimes you're just alone. I made several efforts to reach out to people who have gained experience in the field, using Twitter and other places. But of course, some of them, maybe they will think you're scamming or something. They won't even answer you. So I was like, what do I do? So I think I need a mentor. I think I really need that, because I really need a guideline to know how to maneuver and get in, because so that I don't get slapped left and right with this in the UK. So that's what's up. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Greg. Before whoever is gonna answer his question, I just want to say, don't be scared of the love letter of the or the unfortunately. It's Don't be scared of it. Just take that from me. Don't be scared of it. Either ways, I'm not prophesying doom, but it's gonna come. Yeah, Greg can go.
So the truth of the matter is that you must get, unfortunately. I don't know how to make it sound better than that. You must get it.
I'll get
It's
it. You're
it's
so
like
good.
it's like a write-off. It's like a
Plenty.
is
You've
it
not had plenty. Yes.
okay, plenty of you. So you must get plenty, unfortunately. But like what Timothy said, all you need is just one yes. Just one company to tell you yes. And it makes all the other knows what it's right. So don't be scared of getting, because it helps you even tweak your application. It helps you know what's working and what's not working. It helps you know, right? We're just going to move on to the next person.
Sorry, I just wanted to add something
Go
to.
ahead.
So from what you said, Hollins, I would pick that you're not a technical person. All right. So don't, if you even want to switch into tech, don't bother going after technical roles, right? Not because it's not something that interests you. All right. So even for example, if you had to do security, you can look at things in the GRC aspects, right? The governance and compliance aspects, right? And then take a few checks. And then you have project management, for example, you have products management, like you have Greg doing, for example, right? Those are I wouldn't say they're not really they're not hands-on, so to speak, because you're not having to do the technical implementation, but you're having to do the content part, which is what I guess you've thrived in the last 5 years, right? So you've been in the media space, so you have an idea when it comes to content creation, development, structure, right? And then building the process. So leverage your skill set, right? And then use that to build capacity. So don't try to tweak and say you want to tweak yourself so you can break into a space. No, leverage your skill set, right? Build on it, leverage what you were good at, right? Build on what is relevant for you that you will help you thrive and shine and move on from there. All right.
All right, just to help him also, there's a role called product marketing manager. So it's a product manager that is in market that's specific. Even the project management is split into like 5 or 6 different roles, right? So you can always, look at even project management and say, okay, I want to be a product marketing manager, and you're going to be a product manager, but in the marketing space. So like you have the skills for marketing in quotes, you can always, like Adela said, leverage these skills, and grow from there. It's easier that way than trying to download something else. Moving on, Ebenezer, please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Diola and Mr. Timothy and Mr. Greg. Okay, so my question isn't well, it's like a two-edged sword, Sha. So, okay, so the first one, the question I want to ask is, I tried crashing into cybersecurity. Okay, I crashed into cybersecurity during the that was last 2 years. So while taking some I was just taking some courses here and there like that, sha. So I didn't have a specific role I'm targeting. So I later got to resolve that. So I planned to get into this thing, malware analysis and development. So my question is, for someone that wants to get into that kind of role, like malware analysis and the development, what are the things to look out for? What are the skills? What are the knowledge? What are the courses? And which company hires people that are skilled in this aspect? So just know the chances. So that's number one. So number two, before the event, I got to know that Mr. Diola, you have worked with some fintechs, startups, and like that. So what is your advice for a startup in fintech, to be precise? A startup, like a fintech startup that is trying to gather, like teams, like developers and security engineers and like. So which role do you think that kind of startup needs for the security aspect? That's all. Thank you.
One, I think you're multi shopping. That's what it sounds like. And again, you are you are multi shopping. Okay. I'm gonna be blunt with you, right? Malware analysis is interesting if you know how to do kernel level programming, and it's not for the faint-hearted. I'm not even going to mince words. It is not for the faint-hearted. There are very few people who do kernel level programming on the face of the earth because, again, it's not for the faint-hearted. All right. If you have no interest in development and you are not willing to burn the midnight candle, you can't jump into malware analysis overnight. It's not possible. That's me being blunt with you. However, you can build capacity, which is what I would always say, but you must be willing to pay the price. You must be able to learn kernel level programming, low level languages, not the common ones. When I mean low level, like actual. So for example, at some point I did my master's in cybersecurity and I did malware reverse engineering. It's not, when you're talking about malware analysis, you're not doing it's not something you can pick and pass. No, it comes with a requisite type of skill set that you must build over time. Companies that will pretty much do that are companies in the research industry, for example, or antivirus providers, for example, or guys who are doing EDRs or XDRs, for example, and the like. So you're looking at, for lack of a better one, McAfee, even Microsoft, for example. You're looking at what are the general antivirus solutions? We have Pen Micro, for example, right? You're looking, all of those guys are usually the ones who would or research or technical research companies are the ones who would hire people for malware reverse engineering, right? However, you need to go technical and deep. You second part was trying to ask for what is relevant to a startup. When it comes to startups, I'm not sure why this is coming here, but the question for me then will be, are you considering joining a startup? Right? Or what exactly, why are you bringing this up? Because now that's a different conversation in building a startup, right? Greg can give you ideas, I can give you ideas on that, but I need to know in proper context before I answer your question. Otherwise, so can you give me clarity? as to what you're asking for.
Okay, so okay, I am planning to start something very soon, probably this year or probably early next year in fintech. So, and fintech is about preparation. Like someone needs to be prepared, get the right information, network with the right people, just like you said. So the network, the information, and everything is very important. So I'm just trying to get all the information that are relevant and are important. So before taking a step of getting the developers and everything. So that's why.
Okay, so for the purpose of this, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't know if Greg would think otherwise, but I think it's relevant to this, right? So I don't know.
Yeah. So what we can do is, if Adiola is willing, maybe he can set up a time, and then maybe you can email, or if you can have a way of detailing your questions, maybe on a Google Sheets. So as a live document, I'll send my email. He can also put his email if you want to reach out to him via email on LinkedIn, and just share that document and put your questions there, and you can always update it with answers that come to mind, so that we stay within the context of what we are doing right now. So thank you so much, Adebayo. So set up a Google link, a Google Sheet. I know you, so you have my email. Adiola is also going to share his email on his LinkedIn if you want to connect with him online, right? So then you can take the relationship from there. Yes, the recording will be available. Just to answer that quickly. Moving on to the next person. We're pressed for time. So Joanne, I'm sorry. Please go ahead with your questions and quickly, please. Okay, Joanne is not here. What about Timothy? Timothy Chair, please go ahead.
Sorry, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh,
I
sorry.
was speaking, but I didn't know my speaker was off. Right.
Oh,
So
sorry about
my question is for Timothy. It's would you be my mentor?
All right, so I think that question is he answered something similar. So his email and LinkedIn details are in the chat. So please reach him on there. Adiola's LinkedIn also is going to be in the chat, so you can reach them on there, and then I'm sure they can help you. But please know that they may not be able to literally hold your hands and like walk you through, the valleys or everything. They are extremely very busy people.
Yeah,
They are going to.
I was hoping he would answer.
They are hoping he will answer. Okay, Timothy.
Yeah. Hello, good afternoon.
Not your Timothy. Sorry, Timothy Akintunde.
Oh, I thought it was the other Timothy. What did you
Yeah.
say I should answer to, please, Greg?
So she asked a question around mentorship, so I responded.
I responded on the chat already.
Okay, so she's
I'm
asking me
sorry,
for.
I haven't seen it on the chat. I was asking, Mr. Timothy, would you be my mentor?
Joanne is my colleague, please.
You guys are bringing family matters to the public. There's no problem. So I think we can move past that. Thank you so much, Joanne. Timothy, the one that has a question, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Actually, my question has been what other people have been asking since concerning the career path. And one thing is that I've been trying to learn some things, and the problem is I don't have someone to be putting me through. At times when I have issues, there's nobody to just tell me, okay, do this way, you do this. And I've registered for some courses online, Udemy, Coursera, but I won't say the community where I stay is the problem, because I've tried to utilize other channels, but nobody to guide and nobody to mentor. So I don't know any assistance I can get here. If I could get someone that can direct my career path and assist me, do it like this, do it like this, and when there are issues, they will be able to guide me. So that's just my own request.
All right. So which area are you looking to get into? That's my own question.
I studied statistics in school, and so I tried to do some courses on data analyst. So I registered for some Coursera. But later I still changed to backend engineer. So I have to put on for some courses on Udemy. I paid for the course and I've been having some issues when I go through some introduction and when it get to some parts, I don't know how to do it. And I've tried to check for solution on Google, but it hasn't been. I have someone that can give me a task and which I won't be able to do the task, but they will later explain to me. Then with that, I think I can have more knowledge of it.
Okay, so I'll answer it from two perspectives, right? The first is um go all out on your own. Let's assume there was no one that was going to help. That's one part of it. Let's assume there's nobody that is going to help you. All right. Leverage YouTube, leverage these courses that you've done and carve your way. That's part one. Part two is and this is specifically for those who are seeking to get mentors, and that don't see mentors as people that you're always going to be getting from, right? Because it's supposed to be a transaction. It's a two-way thing. If you're always reaching out to people and all you're always trying to do is how can I get from you, rest assured they're going to run away from you. And I can tell you that from experience, right? So in as much as you want to mentor, right, look at people within your space, within your industry, even if they're going to guide you. I'm sure Timothy and Adiola, people that they've called their mentors in quotes, they've been able to help these guys in one way or the other. They not just sit down there and those person will just feed them information, and the likes. It doesn't work like that in the real world. So please, if you're going to get a mentor, data analysis is a very, very big field. You need to be specific which part of data analysis, like where do you actually want to go into, right? So I think you still need to do more research on that. Find out which part of data analysis do you actually want to go into, because I can tell you, you have at least 3 or 4 different specifications there. So that will help you find somebody that you're actually looking for, right? So you just need to know there's big data, there's machine learning. There are many things in the data analysis in itself that is packed. So you need to find out which part do I want to. When you get that, then leverage the free tools. Like I tell people, I say, let's assume you don't have any money for course. What are the free things you can do that will not cost you anything, right? Do those ones first, and believe me when I say the other ones will come by. So I don't know for in Tech4ALL right now, the only person we have, maybe we might do a session with data analysis and something, we might go into that. But at the end of this, what I'll do is I'll post the community link there, WhatsApp. So everyone, if you're interested, join the community, which I will encourage you, right? And we also have mentors on there who are a part of the community. So intervals, they reach out stuff that can always help us. Timothy, please post your link. Okay, I've posted his LinkedIn already, so thank you very much. So if you want any of these guys to be the mentor in code, please reach out to them on LinkedIn, right? And then they will take it from there. So I'm just going to move on to the field, and we're going to try and see how we can run up in the next few minutes because of time. Williams Luatobloba, please go ahead. If you're speaking, you're on mute because we can't hear you. All right. Bilo Timtayo, please go ahead. And the last person we're going to be taking question from is Mr. Hosa Osadolo. So that'll be the last question because we've stretched about 2 hours now. So Bilo Timtayo, please go ahead. Can everyone hear me? I hope I'm not frozen or something.
Yeah,
I
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Okay. Okay, Bilo Timtayo is not answering. Mr. Hosa, please go ahead.
Okay, so thank you very much, Greg. I'm sorry I joined in late. So this question goes to the both of them. Anybody can answer. I heard them talking about training certification. So my question is, what role does Allison, Udemy, Coursera play in terms of training, and what other platforms do you think these persons can get training from? We can get training from, because when I have seen a couple of persons say Udemy, Coursera, and all these things, they all give certificate called certificate of completion. They are not certification in itself. But how would you measure those particular platforms as it relates to training, and how a lot of persons can take advantage of it? Take, for example, I've recommended Udemy to hundreds of people because of certain trainings I've gotten from there. And when you wait for a promo time, a course that is expensive becomes very cheap, and you can pay for it online. Just keep it for a couple of days. And so, what are your views as it relates to that, and what other platform can you recommend?
All right. So who wants to take this first? Adiola, do you want to take this? And if Timothy has something, he will just chip that in. Is that okay?
Okay, so this is what I'd say when it comes to most of the streaming platforms. Most of them would give you certificate of attendance, or that shows that you've at least attended the courses or gotten valid or relevant trainings, right, in the line or the field which you are trying to study for, right? So they're not in their own classification, actual certifications, right? However, they all also, these courses have professional exams you can write as well. All right. And so you can then look for them and write. But in my experience, when it comes to development and programming, most people don't write the certifications for them anymore, because it's either you have the skills or you don't, right? That's usually how it is. And if you're learning, right, what you have a certificate of attendance from the likes of Udemy or Coursera shows that you've taken the pain to invest in yourself, right, to learn. So that gives a recruiter or a hiring manager a perspective to test or gauge your capacity. So most of the times when you see things on certificate of attendance, it's just showing the other party at the other end of the table saying that, oh, you've taken the pain to at least start up something to show that you are interested in doing things like that, right? So there is no straight jacket to this thing, right? Then again, it also depends on what it is you're trying to learn. Some courses have certifications, some don't, right? So for courses that don't have certifications, your best bet is just to keep learning, right? You can how do I put it? Your CV or so usually what I'd always say is one part people usually overlook is a cover letter in the application, right? So your CV may not necessarily show what is required for the role, right? But your cover letter shows what you've done in in relation to the role, for example. So if you can tell that, or your cover letter, you've taken your time to do A, B, C, D courses on Coursera to build capacity in A, B, C, D, for example. I'm going to use terms in the development space like frameworks, for example. You can say that you had to learn on certain frameworks on Coursera, and that's giving you the basics, for example, into introduction into this, and then you're hoping to get a structured environment to practice or translate what you've learned into actionable items, right? So in this kind of situation, when it comes to graduate entry roles or coming into the industry, please always leverage a cover letter, because your cover letter is what you use to tell your story. Your CV is not going to say much because you do not have the relevant experience, to be honest, right? If you have certifications, yes, but your cover letter shows enthusiasm, shows what you've done, shows that you've taken your time to even understand what the company is looking for, right? It shows that you're actually serious about what you're applying for. So please leverage the leverage cover letters when you're pretty much doing things around courses that do not have certifications. All right.
All right. Thank you very much, Adiola. Timothy, do you have anything else you want to add to this and to what he said? Or if there's none, it's fine. We could just move on. And okay. Timothy, if you're speaking, you're mute. You're
Sorry.
currently.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
All right. So I mean, I think Adela rightly said it's you can get any of the courses from there, but it's how it pertains to the role you're applying for. How do you tell them, like, display like, okay, this course is going to be relevant to the role? So I think that is like very important. And then for the question you also asked, I put in I put in on the chat box, I put in a link. You see a form, fill it in the place where you put amount, just say from team. This people, the link I put in there, I did a course with them for for PCP, that's for project controls. And one of the things I'm sure they'll teach you about is, I mean, they'll teach you the framework of project management over there. And if you want to go in for exams, you can go for the exams, but their end goal, which is why like I love people who are doing this, is because they can relate with you than doing some big names that really people go in there a lot. These people pick in cohorts and they teach you, like, they have dates. Of course, you have to be dedicated as well. They have dates where you come in, you work, and then they give you live projects that they are handling. That's for the PCP. So I mean, you right in that training, you're going to learn P6, you learn Microsoft projects as well, and then I mean, people don't know Excel. I'm honest about it. You will learn practicality of using at risk with Excel, using add-ons with Excel, that with frameworks or with analysis with Excel. So yeah, I put that there. Then you can also give the number I put there. What that Sunday, you can give Sunday a call as well. It does trainings, and I did this training as well. And I think one of the things I love about Sunday's training is he has this clause of until your first job. So I mean, it comes at a fee. So I'm not marketing them. These are people like I know, and I've seen friends who did with other names. I'm so tempted to mention their names, but and it's like I'm like, people pay a lot for those people, and they don't get the reward for those things. It's just like it's almost abstract, and I personally don't relate to that. I want something productive that will give me the end goal I'm looking for. So those people I can put in for them. That was I typed it, and I've spoken to them as well before I put it out. Like, okay, these guys they'll be willing to train. I mean, as regards project management, project controls, design management, risk, stakeholder management. If you want to jump into that, you can try any of those two and just mention my name, that from team. Yeah, it'll add up.
All right, thank
I think lastly, I saw a question from Favor Alabi, and I must say thank you, Favor, for bringing up that question. So as an international student here, while you are in school, you want to get, I strongly recommend internship. So one of the things I omitted, I think was intentional. I did an internship with a company called Waits, and I must say, like, during my interviews, that was, if I give a copy of my CV, it was the work I did with them that I really shouted more, that I made a lot of noise around for my internship. And even at the interview, when they asked me questions, I mean, that's pertaining to like the Europe, they want to know your experience here. I was always talking about everything I did. I spoke about the technical bits of everything I did. And I feel like internships are so strong. And of course, they wanted me back after my internship. They wanted to come, but I had to go through the process again. And by the time I got to the end date, I was like, I'd gotten some better offers, so I couldn't go back there. But I strongly recommend internships. How do you get internships? Get on GradCracker, get on LinkedIn. You'll see it there. You'll see on the career pages of these companies, they put it out there. GradCracker also will always snitch them out because they sponsor it there. So I always recommend have GradCracker on your phone. There's an app, so just get it there. Set your notifications. As a student, you should have. I mean, it's your go-to every day. It's your go-to every day. So you get those roles, and it's littered around across all sectors: transportation, tech, wherever. I
All
hope
right,
this question as well. Thank you.
thank you very much. Thank you very much, team. Don't know if I know someone's answer was up, but don't know if we'll be able to take. Okay, right, it's down now. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We stretched. This is 2 hours 7 minutes. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking by. I hope we've been able to get something of value. Right, the links that team put it on there. I would encourage us, please. Let's do that, because you probably may get a discount, because it's Timothy now. So maybe you have spoken to them and they will give us a discount on these courses. And then
Great.
also wait, are you saying something?
Great. I don't know. I can't find the link. I'm trying to check.
Okay.
I can't
You will post
find
it
the link.
again. You will post it again. You will post it again. All right. So then I'll also encourage as many of us. I posted the group link for Tech4ALL. Please join the link for WhatsApp, and also if you want to be a volunteer, also join. I want to give a shout out to volunteers who are able to put it together. Many of us received emails, many of us received text messages, WhatsApp messages, These were done by people on the team. Many of us were involved in reaching out to these people. Timothy and Adiola, thank you so much. I want us to just, give a huge shout out to these guys. They've taken time out of their very busy days. I know how busy it is for them. I'm not capping them. Like I can tell, I know. So taking 2 hours and I'm not paying them, for these 2 hours is they're doing it just for the fact that they want to just share knowledge and help people. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I'm really grateful. I'm not saying it because I know you guys personally. I'm appreciating you guys because you guys are the best. Thank you so much for taking our time.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. So lastly, I encourage us, please follow them on LinkedIn, follow them on their LinkedIn is on there. They've put their emails there. Please reach out to them if you have requests. Let them know. They will definitely respond to you. They are very cool guys. They don't carry, even if they have like experience and stuff, they don't put it on their head in quotes. They are down to earth people and they will definitely help you as time permits. As time permits them to. So without any further ado, I want us to just take a huge screenshot. I've tried to put all the tiles on my screen right now. I don't think it fits. So for as many that can turn on your videos, please turn on your videos and just wave at the camera. We're going to take a huge snapshot of the screen. We picked at I think almost 50 people who joined today. 50 people who took out their time to join us today. So I'm really grateful. If you want to follow up, any of these guys, join Tech4ALL community. I've posted that link in the chat. We're going to be hosting like more stuff like this so that you can always get first-hand knowledge. As many that can, please turn on your video. I'm going to leave about 5 more seconds or 10 more seconds for this. I'm going to take a screenshot and then I'm also going to post. Let me see. I think I have it here. Let me just use that. Where is this? Where is it? Yes. So I'm going to post in any other relevant stuff on the group. All right. So I'm going to take this snapshot right now. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm super grateful. Thank you for taking our time. I can't just say thank you enough, and I'm grateful. To the speakers, thank you. Adiola, thank you. Timothy, thank you very much. You guys have shared knowledge. The slide, I'm sure Timothy has shared the slide in the chat already for those that have interest, in it. You're smiling. Somebody asked for it, so that's why I'm saying it too. Somebody asked for that particular slide, so you can just make a copy for them. They might want to like go through stuff. I know that those that are in Nigeria might be thinking, oh, is this just for UK people? No, that's not. The principles and the ideas, are they go across board, and that's just reality, right? So the principles remain the same. Just look at the market that you are in, and if you're looking to come over to the UK or any other country, I don't recommend UK again sometimes these days, but people will laugh at me, but it's okay, no problem. There are like many other countries that you can, and you can always, shoot your shot. But most importantly, like what they've said, build capacity. I had an interview with a software engineer a few weeks ago, and what he said is the more skill you have, right, the more you can determine your working conditions. So the more you skill up, the more you can determine how you want to work and how, like, nobody will stress you if you know so much. So let that be a watchword, like skill up so much that you can determine how you want to work. Okay, sorry about that. Skill up so much so you can determine how you want to work, right? The journey just started for some of us, and then we're still on our way. We're still on our way there. Sometime in the 1 or 2, 3 weeks, we'll be having another session, most likely someone in data analysis space. So we have your details already. Please, you might receive communication from us. Also, we might also merge that with something very similar, right? So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much.
Please, I can't find the slide.
The slide. I don't know if Timothy has, I think he has shared the link again. So if you check the chats, it's there. If you check the chat, it's there. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, that's it from me. I don't know if anyone has anything else they want to say, and then in the next 1 minute, we'll just wrap it up. Okay. Okay, dossier.
Yeah,
Quickly.
sorry. Timothy made mention of while we're trying to fill the application form, we should put something on the amount. Like, I didn't get that, so I don't know if you can just.
Put his name. Just said from Timothy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, church proof. His name is carrying money now, so that's the level I want to get to in Jesus' name. Oh my god. I think one other person has their hands up. Wanted to say something. So that we just yeah, I think that was to say. Please go ahead, Michael.
Okay. Hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay. Thanks for this platform, and I would like to ask because I got disconnected. I think once or twice. So my chat history isn't complete. I don't know why that is. So a lot of information that was sent previously, I don't have access to them, especially the link for the PDF, the slide.
Okay. So
I
what
don't know
we'll
if
do,
sent via mail or something.
no problem. What we'll do is we'll try and send them the informations via email, the ones that we can. We'll also try if you join the group, Tech4ALL group, we're gonna post everything there also so that you can always get knowledge from there also. So we're going to do it both ways. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. And for those that say they want to volunteer for an event next time, I'm going to be reaching out to you guys especially, so then we can move forward. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a nice day. Say hello to someone before you go. I know some of us know each other, and if you don't know anybody, you can meet someone here today. So bye, everyone, and have a lovely night rest.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye, bye. Tada.
Bye.
Bye.
Now I want to catch who is sleeping. So the last person to log off. I know some people have probably slept off.
Bye, Engineer Additional. So good to see you on this platform. And thank you, Ini, for bringing me to this platform for your invitation. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.